G'day, viewers. Look, it's the end of another week.
Hello, viewers. It's the end of another week, and I'm here too.
So, you know, we've had some dinner. We may have had some beverages with dinner.
We might have done that.
Might have mixed a few drinks with dinner to bring you some drunk politics at the end of another week.
Yay, drunk politics at the end
Woo!
of another week. Woo!
And I swear to God, yeah, we could pick. There's politics happening all around the world, of course. But our own backyard is probably the most colourful.
It's fascinating.
It is.
Fascinating. It's all imploding and going off in
Both
the faces of the people who set it up.
Both at the federal level and at the state level where we live. Crazy magic things happening. The funnier things happening, look, if you've paid any attention to videos I've made, you'll know we're really not fond of our Prime Minister.
No.
One Tony Abbott.
No, he crippled me personally.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is Tony Abbott's also not popular with some key people in his own party.
A la
Malcolm Turnbull.
Malcolm Turnbull.
Who, when they were in opposition, was leader of the party, and then through some shenanigans got shafted.
From skullduggery.
When he called a vote for support of him, he didn't get the support.
No.
And Tony Abbott got in by one vote and has been leader of the party ever since. And when they got elected to a majority, he became Prime Minister.
Oh,
And Malcolm Turnbull's never forgot that he got shafted.
oh, big time.
And let's just say, conservatively, Malcolm Turnbull's about 1 million times more intelligent than Tony Abbott.
That's fair.
And he's slightly less of an absolute cunt as well.
Which is surprising and fair.
And what's been happening slowly as the country has grown to hate Tony Abbott.
With their spectacular speed.
To the point.
This is great.
Right? There was a survey this week of who should be leading the government.
Right.
And not only was Turnbull miles ahead of Prime Minister Abbott, Abbott was actually beaten by Don't Know and someone else.
Right? So that's not a name. That's just a box.
In fact, that one probably
Don't know.
That probably should have been ticked, please God, anyone else.
Right? So you've got the choice of, I don't know who should be, but not him.
Oh, it's just...
And they've put that.
And this is close to without precedent. Someone who came in and got quite a convincing majority in the election
Oh, yes.
to then nosedive. I think he's got like about a 30% approval rating at the moment.
Like he's nosedived into the shit from the top tower.
From the first 6 months, he has not been in power that fucking long.
Right,
Okay?
he has had on record the longest time, because what happens is these prime ministers, they get in and they're loved up until their first budget. Now this budget happened straight before he got elected prime minister. Okay, so then he's had the longest time in history to basically have this honeymoon period with the public. Right, the public don't know what he's about because he hasn't had to sign anything saying, oh, you can't have anything and we're going to tax the shit out of you. This budget has come down and the public's gone, oh, I appear to be grabbing my ankles on my front lawn and the government seems to be violating my bottom with its penis. And everyone has decided that they're getting violated without any good thing happening in the other end.
Yeah, not even any reach around is happening.
Nothing,
here,
right? Everyone's just getting shafted big time. The poor got it in the face. Yeah. The rich basically said they got told, oh, you're gonna pay more, and they don't, and so they don't care anyway. And the middle in Australia is a very important place to live politically. And the middle gone, I've copped it from both ends. Yeah. They're taking it out of my top end and they're giving it to me in my bottom end. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm gagging or farting, but it's all coming out blood and cum. Yeah. Oh, no. And so now this government is giving it a bit of, no, it's good for you. It's good for you. And business around Australia's going, no, I'm firing people. No, it's good for you. It's good for you. No, what'll happen is the market will pick up, and the market's going, no one's buying anything. It sucks. It's cold. It's winter, and I haven't got any food. And so, basically, the government's now trying to run around the edges, picking up the pieces. And the pieces they've picked up are all things that they've already dropped. They've dropped overseas relations with our friendliest friends. They fucked that up by being arrogant. This is Indonesia, a large Muslim country to our north. We don't even bloody acknowledge that they exist, but they've got the largest standing Muslim army in the world, and they are the largest Muslim democracy in the world. They're about to change their president to a new president because the old one's just about finished. And he was a big friend of Australia, but he managed to get pissed off by this government. The new government coming in has no reason whatsoever to be friends with us at all. They don't give a shit. And now we're trying to play catch up with this neighbour to the north. Our other Asian neighbours are going, you guys have sold all your stuff to China and they're screwing us. And China was supposed to be good to us, but they're screwing us. And so Australia going, oh, we can be friends with you. And the other Asian neighbours are going, why? What's in it for us? And so this government's got problems overseas. It's got problems at home. And then just when it thought, it's okay because the states will drag us out of the shit, the state of Victoria is about to implode as well. There's this one rogue MP who's fucked up so badly that he's about to tear down an entire 2 houses of government and with it a federal government. So, box on.
I just want to point out here to you, dear viewers, I let him go there despite the fact I know how much it scared you that AIDSy was making shitloads of sense there. Okay? I know that was frightening. Hold my hand. Hold my hand, okay? It'll be fine. We'll get through it together. AIDSy just made lots of sense. That was a thing. That was a thing we all lived through together, okay?
Yeah,
Don't be scared. Or be scared. Maybe. Be scared.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got at the federal level, Malcolm Turnbull, who got fucked over by the current leader, Tony Abbott, sees his chance and he's playing it softly. And the media attack dogs on the Conservative side have gone him. Australia's equivalent of Fox News, right? This is a columnist and shitty TV show host, Andrew Bolt, and an obnoxious radio host called Alan Jones.
I'm not going.
Have tried to go Malcolm Turnbull because they believed their own hype and they forgot for a moment that they're intellectual lightweights and Turnbull's actually a lot smarter than them. So when they tried to go Turnbull, they ended up looking like colossal knobs because he ran rings around them.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't even warmed up.
No,
it was just a bit testy.
It was just this really casual
slap.
God,
you know, it was like
you people.
It's like, you know, when you get a mozzie on or a fly on your sausage, you go, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, it was just he just made them look like the knobs they are because they kind of forgot they're knobs.
These guys are used to talking to people with their finger over the shut up button.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't like you, they just shut you down.
Yeah, suburban bogans who say, I love you, and if anyone ever challenges them, they just push the button that cuts off the other person's microphone. They made the mistake of thinking they could do that to Turnbull. Not so much.
Not so much.
But I do want to bring home, we live in special times in Australia.
In Chinese interesting times.
Special times, interesting times, unprecedented times. The previous government, the Labor government, for the first time in living memory, the sitting Prime Minister got knifed by his own party, who then, when he was sitting, I'm angry at you, white-anted the whole time and then knifed the Prime Minister who knifed him and got the job back. Yeah. That was more or less unprecedented. And then with these guys in power, Tony Abbott going from, yay, elected with massive majority to, ooh, everyone thinks you're a cunt.
Splap.
Almost unprecedented to nosedive to that level so quickly. But even at the state level, as AIDSy was alluding to, we live in the state of Victoria. What's happened slightly unexpectedly at the last election, the Conservative coalition led by the Liberal Party. Capital L have to keep reminding American viewers when Australians say Liberal Party, they mean Conservative Party.
Yeah.
The equivalent of your Republicans. Don't ask me to explain it because I don't fucking get it. But just take it for granted, okay?
Yeah.
And they got in with only a 1-seat majority, but enough to control the parliament.
And they could make the rules.
But one of their members is a complete knobhead. Okay? I've made a rant about him and his anti-abortion policies before. But he's also up on corruption charges, and he's declared that he was independent of his party, but they had to rely on his vote to maintain
To get
power.
anything done, right? So he gets what he wants.
Just this last week, he's gone, I've lost faith in the party. If the opposition Labor Party moves a motion of no confidence, I'll support them. In other words, I've just said fuck you to the party that was clearly going to drop me at the next election.
I'm going to bring down the government.
Yeah. And the Labor Party, very shrewdly, it's all politics, right? They've gone, we're not going to go for that.
No.
We're going to say, this guy's a scumbag. We don't want his vote. We're
going to throw him out.
Cast out of parliament. This literally has only happened once in the last 100 years.
Right.
Someone being said, you are such a fuck up.
You haven't resigned, mate. We're kicking you out.
They've only managed to do that once in all of the 20th century. That only happened once. And they're trying to do it again. And the thing is, and then the sitting government said, like, okay, we agree the guy's a fucker, but we want to consult lawyers and make sure it's a sound case so he can't come back against it, which is actually the right thing to do.
But no one gives a shit because nothing is happening in between.
Because politics is not about right and wrong. Politics is about scoring points. So the Labor opposition has basically set it up to, every day you don't get rid of this guy, we're going to say, because you really love him, he's really your boyfriend.
You want him.
You want
You
him.
want to kiss him. You want to do things with your lips on him. You love him. You want to touch him. You want to get it.
And it's not true.
Doesn't matter.
But this is politics.
Doesn't matter.
Not true. Not right and wrong.
Every day that this guy is hanging around pretending to be one or both friends, right, the government can't get rid of him because then they'd lose the majority in the House.
Yeah.
The Labor doesn't need him because then they'll lose his majority in the House. If they kick him out, they've got a by-election now. By-elections cost money and the taxpayer's got to pay for that. But Labor doesn't give a shit because they've lost control of their guy. The Conservative Party have lost control of their Conservative.
It doesn't reflect badly
We're
on Labor.
We're about to go to a general election
towards the end of the year.
Right? So we're basically no more than 4 or 5 months away from an actual election anyway. Labor is sitting there going, call it. Do whatever you want. We cannot lose from here.
So they're basically saying, you've relied on this corrupt bastard's vote for so long, you're addicted to it. And the government's going, they lose no matter what they do.
It's round and smells like poos and making my hands all dirty. Why can't we just make him like self-asphyxiate or something in a kind of weird sex tape scandal?
Yeah. And I don't even want to get into what I think this guy gets up to, because you know the pattern where someone really aggressively goes against, being gay and says it's like bestiality, and then suddenly you find that they've been taking a rent boy on holidays with them.
That kind of stuff.
I'm not saying that's what this guy does. It's just what every other person who's ever espoused what he says does.
Yeah.
Okay? So
he thinks he doth protest.
Basically, the state government can't win.
No.
Basically, the state opposition can't lose.
No.
So the opposition can be complete dicks about it.
And they are being.
They're being
dicks.
Are
being dicks about it.
Because they're just playing politics. It's hilarious.
It's just like watching a scorpion and a snake fight one another. You go, something's going to get hurt and bit, and I don't care.
Because they all deserve it, basically.
Yeah.
So, essentially, here in Australia, we live in interesting times. We just, sequence after sequence, we are seeing unprecedented occurrences in politics
There's another little thing that's happening, and it's a backgrounder issue, but it's actually going to become really, really important in 6 months. We've had an enormous mining boom in this country for about 15 years. It's been fucking great. We've spent money on everything that we really needed to, and we're just about at the end of that spending cycle, but we still need the money. However, all the extra money's come in because all of these foreign companies with their mines have come in to build their mines. Now, thing is, those mines are almost all built, and so now all they're doing is dragging dirt out of the ground and shipping it overseas for processing. So the jobs and the money is going away. Now, what was supposed to happen was it was supposed to transition from mining construction all the way over into mining and refining and building domestically, construction and consuming domestically. They were supposed to take over the pattern, right? But it hasn't happened because the construction hasn't happened on the domestic front, and the consumers have all looked at this new horror budget and gone, fuck that, I'm not spending money on anything. So we're about to have a big spike in unemployment. We're about to blame the unemployed because they haven't got a job. And the transition from a mining construction economy to a consumption economy is going to be one big thump. And it's going to happen in about total elapsed time, 4 months as it all shakes out. But everyone's going to land on their ass. Tax revenue is going to go down. The government spending is going to go down. And the states, who've already been raided by the federal government, are going to stop spending money on things like health and housing and food and fucking jobs. And so basically, our standard of living is going to slip like 5 points in half a year. You're going to trip over people in the street who are homeless because they've got nowhere to go. And who's carrying the can for all this? Uncle Angry?
Yeah, even the government's own forecasting is coming out today. They're expecting 500,000 people under 30 to be facing a crisis situation because of changes built in by people with no job and no welfare to support them. 500,000 of them are just being fucking cast to the wolves in the next year.
So basically crime is going to go through the roof. These young people have never known a life of lack. Not like Uncle Adrian and Uncle fucking Angry have.
Yeah, we lived through the fucking 80s.
Oh, Jesus,
okay?
That was harsh. Oh, it was good times for everyone. No, baby boomer scum, not everyone. It was actually quite hard for some people.
Yeah.
And while you were fucking going on an extended skiing holiday, skiing meaning spending the kids' inheritance throughout the back end of your lives, some of us were working the shitty casual jobs to afford your wealth and luxury. Well, that shit is about to happen again. These kids have never known anything but a lot of excess and a lot of freedom and a lot of time. Those days are over. And basically it's going to suck.
Yeah. Now, I've watched the Mad Max movies, right?
Yeah.
So I know.
I've been in them.
I know what's coming. Okay. So all we're saying, okay, is interesting times are afoot.
Interesting times indeed.
And we are going to be here to report on it
right
up until the time we get put in like a concentration camp on Manus Island.
So, all right, with you, you're going to strike a mugger, never with a closed fist, always an open palm strike. That way you won't bruise your palm. Because you need to go again if they're trying to stab you.
That's going to be a growth industry. Self-defense and fighting against street crime. Because that shit's going to get real in the next couple of years.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So we're going to set up a consultancy firm. How to deal with thousands of unemployed youth.
Angry and AIDSies, kick them in the balls. School of help.
So watch out for that as we bring you more handy tips on how to avoid being stabbed in the street by people who've been thrown into the gutter by the government. because that shit's about to get real. So stay tuned, and we'll see you later.
Says bye.
Bye.